Hurry up and get me out of here! How long must you keep me in prison?
I'm sorry. Please, just wait a little while longer, Lord Bison. This next body will be even more powerful. It will be able to handle the full extent of your psycho power.
Get me out now! I don't care what body I have to use. Anything will do. It's only a matter of time before I make his body my permanent home anyway.
Yes, sir. You heard him. Get moving. Begin psycho power infusion at once. We're bringing Lord Bison back.
M.Bison. I don't know what the M stands for, and I did some research. Even the creators of Street Fighter don't even know what the M stands for. And they say they want to leave it up in mystery. Now, when M.Bison was first brought up, they did want the M to stand for Mike, so Mike Bison, but it sounds weird because in Japan, M.Bison's real name is Vega, and Vega's real name is Balrog. And I don't know what Balrog's real name is over there in Japan. But we're not talking about them two. They're going to get their videos later on down in the line. Later down, you know, when I feel like making it. But we're talking about my boy M.Bison. You know, first and foremost, I need to find out where he go get his teeth cleaned. Because them boy got them pearly whites. But let's talk about this dude real quick. See, M.Bison has been in Street Fighter since the beginning, since day one. He wasn't in the first Street Fighter game, but when Ryu does do some damage to one of his strongest fighters, which was Sagat, he heard about it and he was like, "Hey, yo, I want your body." Well, I wouldn't say he wants your body, but he pretty much sounds kind of, you know, fruity. But what he wanted was to bring Ryu over to the dark side, pretty much. He was trying to get Ryu to use the psycho power that he uses, because see, his body was pretty much falling apart. The psycho power inside of M.Bison was pretty much at its limit and it was getting ready to burst. So in Street Fighter 5, at the end of the story, you see his body explodes. Now, people got to understand, if you haven't watched my first Street Fighter video that I put out earlier, you got to understand that Street Fighter 4 and 5 happens before Street Fighter 3. Street Fighter 3 is technically the last, supposed to be the last game of the series. So that's where all things come to an end. But Street Fighter 4 and 5 are pretty much before Street Fighter 3. It's very out of place. I don't know why they did it like that, but that's how they did it. But as you can see right here, this is the scene where M.Bison and Ryu first made encounters. And he said that he really wanted to bring Ryu back and bring him to the dark side. Now, he does take him, bring him back to, you know, to the scientists so they can work on his body. But at the end of the day, Ryu's body cannot handle the psycho power. And I think that's where the Dark Hado comes out of. I don't know. I got to still do research on that. But the thing about Bison that we all got to understand is Bison is pretty much pulling a page out of Orochimaru's book from Naruto. This man has multiple bodies. Unlike Orochimaru, where he has to go brainwash people to be his new host of his body, my nigga M.Bison has bodies set up for him. The main one I could bring up, I talked about him before in another video, is Seth. Seth is supposedly supposed to be M.Bison's next vessel body, and Seth is an android. Now, with, like I said, with Bison dying before, because like I said, I think Street Fighter 5 comes before Street Fighter 4, or Street Fighter 4 becomes before Street Fighter 5. It's very convoluted. It throws me off. But we do know that that's what Seth is for, because Seth is the leader of SIN, which is pretty much the weapons division of Shadaloo, and Bison rules the whole goddamn thing. So when Bison finds out that Seth was trying to overthrow, I won't say overthrow him, but pretty much take his spot and take over the world, when Bison came back and claimed his throne, he was like, "Nah, fam, you're not doing this stuff behind my back." And come to find out, there's multiple Seth androids. And we also got to understand that Seth is also known as I think he's number 11 or number 12. He's one of them two numbers. But what Bison said to Fang when he first met Fang was, "Your loyalty don't mean shit to me, all right? If you're not strong, we're not having you part of the team, all right? So you either learn how to stick up for yourself, or I'm gonna take you out myself. So pretty much he has that mentality of, the strongest will survive. And he is telling the truth. The strongest does survive. But with this dude M.Bison, he kind of, he's kind of fickle when it comes to the two, because he also knows that his body is breaking down on him. He knows that the psycho power inside of him is pretty much not taking over his body, but it's destroying his body. Now, at first he talked about the perfect body. He did have a vessel that was created for him, but that vessel got a mind of its own and went off and did its own thing. And that vessel happens to be Cammy. And you sit back and you think about it, you'd be like, so M.Bison wanted to put his conscience inside of a woman. I didn't have a problem with that, but I'm just like, wouldn't you think, the most strongest dictator in all fighting games would want to, have a beefed up body as, you know what I'm saying? Like Seth, I understood Seth. I'm like, okay, I understand why he's gonna, use Seth, but Cammy, not so much. Not so much, ladies and gentlemen. Not so much at all. Now, with Bison, like I said, Bison is dead, but he's not dead, if that makes sense. All right. So as I showed you earlier, you've seen his body just pretty much explode. All right, thanks to the psycho power. Technically, his essence is floating around somewhere. From what I've read to do this video, his essence is floating around somewhere. I think Fang, they got a hold of it, and they're trying their best to make him another body. M.Bison is a test tube baby, pretty much. The body that he has, that we know of, that, the face that we done been seeing for damn near 30 years, that might not be his original body. That might be body number 82. He could be immortal, ladies and gentlemen. So he could be 150, 160 years old, depending on who's stringing up the story. So pretty much I try to, string the videos together to a point to where it's kind of linear, so y'all can understand where it's coming from. So I put it like this. He didn't pop up in Street Fighter 1, but he did hear about the beatdown, the ass whooping that Saw got from Ryu. He meets Ryu in Street Fighter Alpha 2, where they have their little story where it shows that M.Bison was telling Ryu to come to the dark side. Here, let me give you some of the psycho power, and you'll be straight, you'll be good, you're a powerful warrior. Ryu says, nah, bro, I'm not doing that. They get into a scuffle. They start throwing hands, and Bison wins because he used those psycho drive. He drags his broke ass back to the Shadaloo labs. The Shadaloo doctors work on Ryu to see if they can, put some psycho power into him. It doesn't work, and I think that's how he awakens the Dark Hado, by the way. But that's a video for another day. I think Ryu gets free because I don't know. I think he gets free somehow, some way. But I think after that, see, like I said, the story's so all over the place. I'm over here losing track of where the fuck I'm at this point with the story. Just know this. After M.Bison's body explodes, that's when Gil steps in and he starts, doing what he does. So always remember, M.Bison is the leader of Shadaloo. He has Vega, Balrog, Fang, the dolls, and the dolls are pretty much copies of Cammy, but they all look different. His enemies is Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li. Anybody that's good, he doesn't fuck with them. Anybody that's bad, unless they're working for him, he don't fuck with them either. So that's pretty much M.Bison for you guys. And like I said, M.Bison is probably one of my favorite Street Fighter characters out of all of them, except for Akuma. And guess who's getting a video after this? My nigga Akuma. But my thing about M.Bison is, I feel like when Street Fighter 6 comes out, if they make a Street Fighter 6, because they're still doing remixes to the Street Fighter 5, but if they do make Street Fighter 6, I feel like M.Bison's gonna come back all beefed up and swole as fuck. I feel like they're gonna give him something that's like 4 Seth bodies in one, and he's just gonna be OP as hell, because everybody knows Street Fighter bosses are the hardest bosses to fight. So, but what do you guys think? Do y'all like M.Bison? Can you stand them? Do you want a new villain? Do you want something different? Do you think the story's convoluted and you wish they would have just went a linear path like everybody else? I don't know. That's how I feel, because I'll be thrown off with the story too. But like I said, next video coming up, I already spoiled it for you guys. It's going to be Akuma. Akuma really ain't a bad guy, but at the same time, he's a bad guy. So, yeah, and also, just like M.Bison, these two are bad guys that wear clothes, unlike the last three people we talked about that wants to run around in their Speedos and fight people. So, that's gonna leave a mental scar for a lot of people when they watch that video. But other than that, guys, if you want to leave any character from Street Fighter, Soul Calibur, Tekken, any fighting game that you want me to talk about, I will talk about it here, because that's what we all about. We all about gaming, anime, and wrestling. But other than that, guys, that's all I got for y'all. I hope y'all staying safe out there and clean and washing your ass. But other than that, peace.
I'm coming for you, boy.